Hey there, so tonight I watched the 2016 Royal Rumble on the WWE Network. Okay, WWE, we got talk. So how did Royal Rumble 2016 fare? Well, in some ways better than I expected, and in other ways, unfortunately, exactly how I expected. Uh, we got my little kind of a cheat sheet here to remind me of the order that the matches went in. Uh, Probably shouldn't need that when there's not that many matches on the card, but that's a little telling. Anyway, the pre-show match, we've got the Dudley Boys versus Mark Henry and Swagger versus Ascension versus Sandow and Young. And it's an okay match, I guess. It reminded me of like a Sunday Night Heat type of match, uh, which I guess it really was because it's not on the show. And this would be kind of like the match you'd see on like back in the day when in the heyday of wrestling when there's shows like Sunday Night Heat on, where you'd see like some jobber matches and you see this like kind of one match that will kind of lead into the pay per view. This one does. It's won by spoiler alert for anybody that's no. This is a pay per view like review. Obviously, it's gonna be spoilers. Um, the winners are Mark Henry and Swagger, which pretty much shows you that's two wasted spots in the Rumble, and unless something really extraordinary is going to happen, uh, spoiler alert, it doesn't. Those are two wasted spots in the Rumble. Those guys were not needed in the Rumble, nor were they utilized in it well at all, and those spots could be used somewhere else. It seemed like filler. It seemed like just to put them in there, put them in there, and they had this kind of big thing going up to this, but like this probably being Mark Henry's last Rumble, and they totally wasted that. Mark Henry went almost immediately. Swagger, when he comes in, he does the same thing. We'll get to that later. Next up, we got the last man standing match, and it's Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. Two wrestlers that I like a lot, especially Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose tends to be the guy that pretty much if you don't like a wrestler that like was my guy for WWE and lasted a while, that would be Ambrose. And they do not disappoint. The last man standing match is excellent. It's a fantastic match. They really go throughout the whole thing, tear the house down. It's an exciting match from start to finish. Uh, these guys really put themselves through through hell out there, and they put off one hell of a match. It's just an incredible match. It's like people are talking about, like, oh, this could be a match of the year candidate already. It's just January, guys. So I think it's a little early to be throwing that stuff out there. Let's just see how the rest of the year goes. But it was a fantastic match, and definitely was the highlight of this here entire show. Not going to even lie about that one. We follow that up with, of course, Ambrose wins that and retains the Intercontinental title because it is an Intercontinental title match. Uh, we follow that up, and it's a fantastic match. There's not a boring second in that match. With the tag team match with Usos versus New Day, and it's a perfectly decent match. There's only one problem: how many times have we seen the Usos versus New Day, and they'll like shove somebody else in there, and they can shove in the Ascension, but the tag team division in the WWE right now, and I really do like the New Day. I always they got a horrible gimmick, and they've managed to be like talented enough and charismatic enough to really push past having a horrible gimmick and make it work. That happens rarely in wrestling. That you're actually able to like take a really bad gimmick. Undertaker did it, and make it into like actual workable gimmick that the crowd loves. So nothing wrong at all with New Day, Usos. It's definitely it's a fun match, but it seemed like a time waster. There really needs to be a revamping of the tag team division in the WWE right now. It's just not good. Not that Usos and New Day are they're good enough. Of course, there's the other guys, the Ascension. I guess the Vaudevillains are out there as well. But we're not seeing that. We're just seeing Usos and New Day because they work so well together. And they do have chemistry over and over again. But that's the thing. We're just seeing the exact same match, and they'll shove somebody else in there, like another tag team, or they'll shove the Dudleys in there. And Dudleys, of course, are still incredible tag team wrestlers, amazing. But it just seems stale. It just seems like there's nothing going on right now in the tag team division. It seems like spinning wheels, and that's what this match was. It was a perfectly decent match, but I was bored because I'd seen it so many times before. And they're entertaining enough. The Usos come out and do their thing. It's getting old. It's getting tired. New Day is still funny, but I got a feeling they pushed it too far. It's just we're gonna get tired of that as well. And right now, I'm just tired of seeing Usos and New Day in there. And even though the match was decent, I had very little interest. I was going out, getting tea, coming back in, like, oh, that's a nice way to end the match. I actually like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up was the U.S. title match between winners, the New Day. Again, a U.S. title match between Alberto Del Rio and Kalisto. So, Rio went in as the as a U.S. Champion. Kalisto came in. It was a really good match. Alberto Del Rio and Kalisto, really, their style really meshed well together. Kalisto did a great job, and so did Alberto Del Rio. Both those guys just did some incredible work in the ring, and Kalisto came out the winner, and got his second run with the U.S. Championship. So, good. It was good. It was a decent match. It was a good match. It was above the New Day and Usos match, that's for sure. Next up, we have the Divas Championship match, and that's Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. I'm not invested in either one of these girls. The match itself was decent, though. The wrestling wasn't bad. I just really didn't care if Becky Lynch won or if Charlotte won. I didn't. Charlotte does a great job as a heel, and I can't knock her at all. She does a really good job as a heel. And Becky Lynch, she does, I miss the days. I'm old school, maybe. Or not really old school. I miss the days of AJ Lee. I miss the Litas. I miss the Trish Stratuses. I don't see that yet in any of the ones that are here right now. I mean, Charlotte is a great heel, and she works like for Dad, or Ric Flair showed up in this one here, so kissed Becky Lynch. That was a cute moment. But overall, I did enjoy the match. Was good enough. I just didn't find myself invested in it. I was actually excited when Sasha Banks came out. And she pretty much just comes in and she kicks Becky Lynch out of the ring. But it's really obvious what's going to happen. Like, Charlotte retains the championship, by the way, guys, because she cheats, of course. Jerry's playing the game's daughter, so. And then Sasha Banks comes out and she does the bank statement on Charlotte after that. So that was a really cool match for what it was. I mean, I wasn't invested, but it was a good match. And so far, I can't lie. Every one of these matches are solid. Every person that's in all these matches are doing the best that they can. The Usos, and when I say I've just seen a lot of Usos in New Day, but that being said, that was a good match. It was a solid match. This card up to this point is extremely solid, and all the matches are good. I have no complaints with any of the matches. I find some of the matchups to becoming a little tiresome. I haven't seen enough of Charlotte and Becky Lynch to really be able to say where they're going. I think Charlotte has a great career as a heel, and I think that Becky Lynch is cute. Is definitely going to end a good wrestler, so we'll see where that goes from there. But interested in Sasha Banks. I don't know a lot about the female wrestlers in the WWE right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, but yeah, I did like Paige. I thought she was a fun wrestler, but then again, I thought Paige was cute, so that helped there. And the Bella Twins, one of them's a really good wrestler, one of them's not. Do I remember right now? No, I'm showing my lack of knowledge in some of the newer WWE stuff. I've been watching. I have the network, and I try to watch the Raw every once in a while, but I don't really get to watch it all the time. So there are a few of the wrestling shows and stuff that I don't really keep up on. So the Rumble, the big match. This is what we all went in to watch it for. I don't think anybody here was saying, okay, let's get in and watch it for the. Well, maybe the Last Man Standing match. That was something that people were excited to see. Anyway, so the Rumble starts. Roman Reigns is in, and I look at my better half and I say, okay, there's two ways that this could disappoint me. One, Roman Reigns retains the title, and they push this Roman Reigns things down our throat of him just being the Superman of the WWE and just going too far with it, and just killing it, like here it is. We had a lot of people injured in the WWE right now. There's like John Cena's out, we got Daniel Bryan out, Seth Rollins is out. Why these guys are out? And these are like, I don't have the John Cena hate that a lot of people have. The reason a lot of these guys are out though is because WWE has put all the weight of their company on the shoulders of a few people who constantly circle into the main event. Instead of creating new stars, they're doing exactly the same thing that killed WCW back in the day. They should be creating new profitable stars, and they're starting to do that with NXT, but they are not giving them the chance to really take the ball and go with it. I mean, we're starting to see changes now, and I was hoping that was because Triple H was getting to do more, as opposed to Vince McMahon, let's push the big guy type of thing. We're seeing little guys push now, and guys that can actually wrestle. That being said, get rid of Strowman, please. And while you're at it, you can take out Harper and you can take out Rollins as well, because I don't give a shit about any of them except for Bray Wyatt. I like Bray Wyatt. Or just get them away, get the whole Wyatt family thing away from. Let Bray do his own thing, and I don't know, do something else. Those guys. I know you tried before and it didn't work, but I just don't know. This shit is just boring. I am bored with the Wyatt family right now. Yeah, really fucking bored with the Wyatt family. They really annoyed me during the Royal Rumble. Every time they were on the screen, and most of it was mostly Strowman. I just don't like this guy. He's this big monster of a guy, and he's boring. Has no character. Nothing's been invested, but it may not be him, but nothing's been invested into him except like, look at him, he's big and he's a monster of a guy. That's it. That's all they've got. They're not going anywhere aside from that. One of the big things about that, and one of the things that lets people invest in other wrestlers and in WCW back in the day, in the cruiserweights and all that, was because these guys had to have a character. They had to have something that made them unique, because some of them were smaller than the bigger guys. They had to wrestle more. They had to be more technically proficient. Just be better. Have a better, more strong move set. And Daniel Bryan is a perfect example. CM Punk are great examples. AJ Styles are fantastic examples of guys that did that, who took the limitations what perceived limitations, and actually went and ran with that. Getting to the first big surprise. Not surprised to everybody, kind of a surprise to me. I didn't expect him to come in so soon, but AJ Styles is in the Rumble, and he's in it for quite a while. He comes in, he's got his still got his Bullet Club look. AJ is a guy that WWE are going to tell you is just famous for basically Japan, and being a wrestler, kind of world famous championship wrestler. They're going to not tell you about the amazing years that he worked in TNA, when TNA was actually a good wrestling company. And him and Christopher Daniels, him and Samoa Joe, they just put out amazing 5-star matches, one right after the other. And no matter what crappy storyline AJ Styles was put in, and he was put in a shit ton of crappy storylines in TNA, and welcome to WWE for more crappy storylines from AJ Styles. You're going to get them if they let them have storylines. They should, because, we'll get that in a second. Anyway, the Rumble goes pretty long, and like I said before, there's two ways that they could disappoint me in this match. Let Reigns win, and then Reigns gets injured early on in the kind of like about a third way in the match, and is taken out, but he's not like taken out. So I'm expecting like a Vince McMahon thing where he comes back late in the match and wins it, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna do it. They're really gonna go there again. That sucks. This is like Reigns got booed like crazy throughout the beginning of the match, and it's not his fault. It's not the guy's fault that he's getting booked like this. The guy's got a good look. He's a decent wrestler. There's no reason that the guy shouldn't be getting over, except they're doing everything wrong with him. They're pushing him too far, and they're pushing him too fast, and pushing him too much down the audience's throats, which is making him like everybody resent him. They brought in the Shield. They brought Seth Rollins and made him like a big star, and he did a great job playing the cowardly heel. I really think Seth Rollins really managed to get himself over, despite some of the stuff that they did with him. Dean Ambrose, they buried for like crazy for the longest time. They seem to be going in a better way with that now, because you just can't ignore the work that Dean Ambrose is doing. Even they can't ignore the work that he's doing. It is insanely good. Uh, Kevin Owens is just insanely good, but they make some mistakes, and they make them all in the Rumble match. Everything that he did in the rest of the show almost came undone for me by watching the Royal Rumble match. One of the biggest things was AJ Styles. Have them in there, and the crowd was wild for AJ throughout the entire thing. Uh, AJ was literally he was the star of that of the Rumble in the crowd's eyes. They were really this was a very pro AJ crowd, and I'm hoping that the WWE took notice of that in a good way. No one ended up burying the guy, because he got more cheers than the guys that they were pushing. Strowman was in it for way too long. The Wyatt family was in it for way too long. Yeah, it made some of the other wrestlers look weak. Some wrestlers came into it and just it was useless. They wasted a spot with R-Truth. Well, I don't think it's a bad wrestler. It's just that it was a little comedic spot where he came in with a ladder match and went up a ladder, and they're just like it's a rest spot for them. And he goes up to the ladder and he doesn't see a belt up there, and he expects there to be a belt for some reason. It's kind of a little comedy spot. It's cute. It shouldn't have been a number in the match. It shouldn't have been a number. He should have been just coming out and getting into the ring and doing that and walking up and doing that whole thing with the ladder. Not even being in the Rumble, but just being kind of this clueless guy that comes out and just have a little funny spot. But that spot was a spot that was wasted for this little comedic skit. Remember when I told you about Henry and Swagger? Yeah, they're knocked out really, really, really fast and really easily. There's a few people like that. Jericho stays in a long time. We get AJ staying in a long time. And here's another big mistake that they did. I'm hoping that they're going to follow up on this to actually rectify it. But Kevin Owens is the person that takes AJ Styles out of the Rumble. Yeah, that's all good and all, except for everybody likes Kevin Owens right now. And even as a bad guy, Kevin Owens is over. He's an over guy. And having one internet darling being taken out by another internet darling is a fuck you to the internet wrestling community fans out there. I'm hoping that it's setting up like Owens versus AJ type of thing. But here's the thing: Sami Zayn came back today, and he came in and he took out Owens. So there's got to be a Zayn versus Owens like feud, like going to be done again, because that's the guy Owens took him out. That's great, but now we got AJ kind of like maybe stuck into that feud, and it's the three-way feud, and often somebody's going to get lost in that shuffle. So I'm really not looking forward to seeing AJ Styles probably getting lost in the shuffle, because he's not one of the homegrown guys from WWE. They paid a lot of money for him, so I'm hoping they do something else with him, and this was just a small misstep. Those were the big surprises of the Rumble. The Brock comes out. Brock is taken out by the Wyatt family. It's in. I guess it was the only reason that the Wyatt family was in there. We get remember New Day doing the humorous thing, but they spend so much time on the whole Roman Reigns being beaten up by the stupid whatever it is. I'm not World Elite League of Nations. I'm not sure what it's called. With Swagger and Rusev and the big really white guy whose name Sheamus, whose name just went in my head for a second. That we don't actually see one of Mr. Royal Rumble, the from the New Day, and names are it's 2 o'clock in the morning, so names are really, really not good for me right now, and I'm not gonna look it up. But Kofi Kingston has been really entertaining. We don't get to see him being taken out because he just spent way too much time on Reigns. They're spending all this time showing him getting beaten up outside the ring. We're not seeing the match, the Royal Rumble match, by the way. We're seeing Roman getting beaten up outside the ring, while the match continues on without us. It was insulting for part of the match. AJ is taken out by Kevin Owens. I guess that is not well received by anyone. So yeah, good job at like burying Kevin Owens there a little bit, guys, because no, not good. But I guess maybe I'll give them a pass on that because maybe they didn't know what was going to happen when they put AJ Styles into the Royal Rumble. I don't think they had any idea what was going to happen. We get to the 30th man, and it's Triple H. Remember when I said there was a second way that this could disappoint me? This is it. The way I saw it is that if Roman Reigns won this match, they were going to be shoving a Roman Reigns Triple H match down my throat for WrestleMania, making this the main event of WrestleMania. In other words, I don't care. I really don't. It bores me, and the fact of Triple H Roman Reigns match bores the fuck out of me. I'm not excited about WrestleMania anymore. I've got no interest. And Triple H, if this was What Culture Wrestling, this is where Adam would stop. Point Up Here. That's a really great show, by the way. WhatCulture.com, the wrestling show, and Wrestling with Regret do some really good stuff. I would point up here, and there'd be a shovel at the top of right by me. But I don't know how to edit that in yet, but that may be something that I may be taking from them in future wrestling reviews. Because, yes, Triple H does bury the entire roster by coming out. You know, you got a guy, he's not a wrestler anymore. He's pretty much he's management. And management wins the Royal Rumble. I know he was a wrestler, but he's not a full-time professional wrestler anymore. He's the COO. He's the guy. He's like running. He's authority. And that's that's like saying, hey, why don't Vince McMahon, like, oh, wait a minute. He did. It was called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Yeah. Not looking forward to this. And Triple H is not in the shape that he used to be. He's getting older. And I'm not expecting Triple H to be in the shape that he used to be. He's not a full-time wrestler anymore. But now this guy is going to be wrestling the main event because he won the Royal Rumble. Yeah, Triple H won the Royal Rumble. He knocked out, and it was the last two people. And I actually got excited for a minute because Dean Ambrose was Triple H with the last two people in there. I said, but I'm like, I better have she's excited. And she's like, you know what, Ambrose can win this. And he'll have both belts. And I'm like, they're not going to let Ambrose have both belts right now. He won. They said if he had lost that match to Kevin Owens, then we'd probably see a Dean Ambrose going maybe have a chance of winning this here Royal Rumble. That would be amazing. So many possibilities. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, just so many different possibilities they could go with Dean Ambrose. But no, they are shoving that down our throats. You are going to watch Triple H versus Roman Reigns. We didn't let Roman Reigns win. We helped you there, but we had Triple H win instead. Somebody that's no longer a professional full-time wrestler. Someone that you really don't want to see in another main event. You just don't care anymore. You don't. I don't. Do you care? If you totally disagree with me, that's fine. But here's the thing. Rather than just like going and thumbsing down it like some people do, because they don't have opinions that they actually like to give. Give an opinion on what you thought of the Royal Rumble. I'd like to know. I thought that it was solid. The matches were pretty solid all the way through. The Last Man Standing match did a really, really good job of telling a good story. And I am an Ambrose fan, like diehard. I really wanted him to win that match. But he had gone through so much through the Last Man Standing match that I would have been perfectly fine with him losing that match to Kevin Owens because they both would have been over. The Kevin Owens Dean Ambrose match shows how you can do a match with two people, put on an amazing, exciting match, and put over both men. Like neither one of these guys were buried by the end of this match. This is the Last Man Standing match. Kevin Owens has a thing of being like a tough, no quit type of guy, but his loss to Dean Ambrose in the Last Man Standing match, the first match of the night, didn't bury or do anything harmful to Kevin Owens. Actually, it pretty much solidified Kevin Owens. It solidified Dean Ambrose. Both these guys, and these guys went out and fought in the Rumble too. Kevin Owens lasted quite a while in the Rumble. Dean Ambrose lasted till the second last guy when he came out in the Rumble. And they just put off an incredible show. They have lightning in a bottle with Ambrose, and they really, really got to look into that because this Roman Reigns right now, he's not doing it. Give him some time. Give the guy the chance. Like let him go, but don't push so hard. Don't force somebody on us like this. You're doing the Cena thing again. The only problem is that Cena had the chance to become popular, and for quite a while before you shoved him down our throats so much that that a lot of people started hating him. You're not giving this guy Roman Reigns a chance to become himself and to become like a character that people are going to like. You're making him somebody that we're going to hate automatically, and you're doing it by just burying. You're burying him really. You think you're shoving him down our throats, or you think you're like giving them like the push, but you're not giving him a push. You're burying him in the same way that you did with Randy Orton when you suddenly all of a sudden made him always the youngest world champion, but now and he's a great heel. But let's turn him babyface and have the Evolution turn on him because no good reason. Anyway, it was an okay paper overall. The Royal Rumble match really ruined it for me. I was really solid into all the other matches on the card. Everybody that was in this one, I think, pulled off an did extremely well in here. We had a lot of like marquee people missing from the Royal Rumble, but it didn't feel like it. It felt like this is the start of a next generation of wrestling stars getting a chance until the end, until shuffle, uh, until we have Triple H winning the Rumble, and meaning that the main event is Triple H versus Roman Reigns. That's what it's going to be, and then that's horrible. That's really, really bad, and not, despite what Triple H may think, it is not something that's going to make people rush out to buy WrestleMania. I'm glad I paid $9.99 a month for the WWE Network because I would not buy WrestleMania under any other circumstance. So there you go. That's the Royal Rumble. I'll give you a score on it in a second. But first, the biggest pop of the night was AJ Styles. His entrance into the Royal Rumble had the crowd chanting his name several times, even after he was taken out of it. The crowd showed their displeasure of AJ Styles being gone out of the match pretty much immediately. And he kept chanting his name even after he was gone because AJ Styles really is just that over, guys. Hopefully, W kind of noticed this, kind of like back when Steve Austin was in the King of the Ring, and all of a sudden the next night you saw these like 316 signs. Yeah, AJ Styles is a force to be reckoned with. He really is that good, guys. So if you haven't seen any AJ Styles stuff, look it up. He's really a great wrestler. Because if you're only a WWE guy, maybe you haven't seen his stuff, you need to see his stuff. One of the biggest mistakes made in the match was that, and maybe they're doing this to make it a big deal, but every time AJ Styles went to the Styles Clash, which is his big move, they stopped it. It was interrupted. So he never really had a chance to shine the way he should have. He did some great flying, kind of flying forearms, punches and that. AJ Styles is really good with stuff like that. He was definitely the biggest pop of the night. Second biggest pop of the night was Sami Zayn coming in. Crowd roared about that as well. Initial roar. There's initial roar anyway, and the biggest, most boos of the night. The biggest, the opposite of the pops. Silent Roman Reigns coming in. The crowd booed him the entire time he was in the ring. They booed us spending so much time on him outside the ring. They booed when he came back later on into the match. They cheered when he got knocked out of it. They cheered Triple H even though just because he was going against Roman Reigns, not because they might care about Triple H. And the second, I guess, the biggest boo from the audience of the night seemed to be when Kevin Owens took out AJ Styles. So what we learned here, boys and girls, we've learned that AJ Styles is really popular, and hopefully they're noticing this and they're going to do something with him. We've also learned that Dean Ambrose is the MVP of that show right now. Kevin Owens right up there with him. But that being said, Dean Ambrose is the guy. He just has it completely. It's the complete and total package that should be being pushed right now. And don't push in the way to Reigns, for God's sakes. AJ, You gotta do something with AJ after this. It was insane the amount of cheers this guy got, and I'm a huge fan of AJ Styles, so I'm really glad to see that happen. I'll be glad to see when Austin Aries comes in NXT and makes his way up to the roster really fast, which hopefully he should do, because Austin Aries is another guy that's going to be lightning in a bottle for them if they use him correctly. Uh, just an amazing wrestler, great on the mic, and just really good with what he does. The future could be bright for the WWE if they didn't stop making these boneheaded decisions, like the way they booked the Rumble match itself. All the rest of the matches I thought were booked extremely well. Charlotte won in a heel fashion, that was good. The tag team match, come on guys, just do, you got to do something with the tag team, because we're just tired. Like my better half loves New Day, and she just didn't care about the tag team match either, because as good as it was, we've seen it. We've seen it all before, over and over again. I loved watching the Dudleys and the Hardys back in the day, and the Hardys and Agent Christian. But after a while, I got tired of watching it. It became like, okay, freshen it up, and they need to do that right now. They need to freshen up the tag team division. Just do something else with it. You got to get like the Usos and the New Day away from it for a bit, or just away from the belt maybe, and have them, or go into different feuds, because I'm tired. I'm just tired of seeing it. The U.S. title match was a great match. Both Alberto Del Rio and Callisto did fantastic jobs in the match that they did. It was no complaints about that one. But overall, decent pay-per-view. But the Royal Rumble is what it's called the Royal Rumble for a reason. The Royal Rumble match is supposed to be their marquee match. Here we go. I want to give it a high score because the Last Man Standing match, because that was such a good match, because every match that was booked before the Royal Rumble was a solid match, done very well. But I'm sorry guys, you fucked up in your marquee match in what the title, it's named Royal Rumble. It's not named Curtain Jerker match or Last Man Standing match or those other wrestling matches on the card. It's called the Royal Rumble. That should be where you're solidly looking to really come through. You didn't. You're going to get 2 stars out of 5 for me for this. 2 body slams. Because basically, if this was just those other matches, if the Royal Rumble match was taken off this, I'd give this a 3.5 to a 4. But with the Royal Rumble match being the main match, being the thing that's named after the marquee match, I'm not going to give it higher than 2. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I am desperately needing tea before I go to sleep. Back to work tomorrow morning. It's a Monday, guys. I am Professor Pin. I am getting caffeine. It is time for tea. Hope you guys enjoyed the Rumble for what it was. Me, I'm out of here. And I'm depressed about the state of wrestling right now. Make Fastlane better. Please.